Welcome students and fellow history detectives to today's Explainer. Let's just dive right into it, shall we? Today, we're pointing our magnifying glass at one of the most awe-inspiring and honestly, fiercely debated monuments in human history. I'm talking about Stonehenge. For 4,500 years, these giant stones have stood out there on Salisbury Plain, acting as silent witnesses to ancient rituals and some seriously impressive prehistoric engineering. But what if the story we know about how it all began is missing a massive wooden preamble?
I want you to imagine this for a second. You're sitting out in your garden, having a nice cup of tea, completely unaware that the key to understanding a world-famous ancient landmark is literally buried right under your lawn. No way, right? It sounds like the plot of a movie, but actually, it's a very real archaeological reality. Today, we're going to unpack a discovery that completely flips our timeline of prehistoric Britain on its head.
To investigate this properly, here's our roadmap for the Explainer today. We'll kick things off with the Stonehenge solstice mystery, move on to a prototype under the pavement, dive into the science of reconstructing the ancient sky, examine clues from the dirt, and finally, look into the prehistoric mind. All right, Chapter 1, the Stonehenge solstice mystery, a prehistoric sun trap.
Before we get into what was just discovered, we've got to establish what prehistoric people were actually trying to achieve with the monument we already know. Marking the movements of the sun is at the absolute heart of Stonehenge. If you stand dead center in the monument on the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the sun rises exactly in line with a very specific outer stone. These people went to unimaginable lengths to build this, perfectly placing giant stones using only the simple tech of their time. It's a literal masterclass in alignment. But it definitely begs the question, did they just magically get it right on the very first try?
That brings us to Chapter 2, a prototype under the pavement, the Bulford discovery.
Well, as it turns out, there was a practice run, and the plot twist happened just down the road in the village of Bulford. Just 3 miles away from Stonehenge, archaeologists unearthed traces of a surprisingly simple structure. Now today, the site is an army housing estate, but beneath that concrete, they found 2 distinct holes in the ground, separated by exactly 120 meters. These were post pits, basically massive holes specifically designed to hold massive wooden posts.
Let's put that into perspective with a timeline. Stonehenge was built about 4,500 years ago, but those wooden posts at Bulford, they stood 5,000 years ago. That is a massive 500-year gap. Half a millennium before the very first stone was hauled onto Salisbury Plain, people were already marking the landscape in the exact same way.
This awesome discovery was spearheaded by archaeologist Phil Harding, and the crucial part is how he connected the dots. Literally. He took a map of the excavation site and did what any good archaeologist does. He grabbed his pencil and a ruler and just joined the 2 pits with a line. He noticed they were pointing generally toward the midsummer sunrise. But when he zoomed out and looked at the bigger landscape, he realized something absolutely incredible. His pencil line connecting the Bulford pits was perfectly, exactly parallel to the solstice alignment at Stonehenge. Let's transition to Chapter 3, Reconstructing the Ancient Sky, a Digital Time Machine. Seeing a pencil line on a map is cool and all, but in science that isn't enough. We need solid proof. So how do archaeologists actually prove that a 5,000-year-old alignment was deliberate? Well, they use a fascinating technique called celestial reconstruction. See, because of the Earth's subtle wobble on its axis over time, the sky you look up at tonight is actually slightly different from the sky ancient farmers saw. The positions of the sun, the moon, planets, and stars don't just stay statically fixed, they shift very slowly over centuries. To prove an alignment, scientists have to map those historical positions to basically reconstruct the sky and see it exactly as it looked 5,000 years ago. Here is how that scientific method breaks down in practice. Step 1, they precisely map those 2 post pits. Step 2, they calculate the slow historical shift of the celestial bodies. And Step 3, using advanced software, they digitally rewind the sky 5,000 years. And when the team did this for the Bulford pits, the result was staggering. The alignment was flawlessly right. Looking from one end, it accurately aligned to the summer solstice sunrise. And from the other end, the winter solstice sunset. It forces us to completely rethink the landscape. Today, one of these pits is buried out of sight under modern infrastructure, and the other one, 120 meters away, is likely sitting quietly under someone's backyard garden. But 5,000 years ago, ancient farmers erected these massive wooden posts here, estimated to be between 2 and 4 meters high, creating a towering, incredibly precise astronomical instrument.
Moving to Chapter 4, Clues from the Dirt, the Evidence Log.
So who exactly were these ancient farmers, and how did they dig such massive holes without modern equipment? A quick trip over to the Wessex Archaeology Conservation Lab reveals the physical clues left behind. These are the items that actually helped date the discovery. First, they found an antler. Now, this wasn't some hunting trophy hanging on a wall. This was literally the tool they used to physically excavate the chalky dirt for the post pits. Think of it as a prehistoric excavator. They also found incredibly delicate, thin-walled pottery, decorated with beautiful little cordons and slashes, which shows us they had an amazing level of domestic craft.
But what truly stands out in the evidence log is a discoidal knife. It's perfectly rounded, but what makes it super special is the exceptional workmanship that went into it. In fact, archaeologists suspect that its unique, discoidal shape might actually be a symbolic, physical reference to the sun itself. It's an artifact that hints at something way deeper than just daily survival.
Which leads us to our final section, Chapter 5, The Prehistoric Mind. Why did it matter?
Why go through the grueling physical labor of using antlers to dig deep pits for 4-meter-high logs just to track the sun? Well, it comes down to survival and belief. The people who built the prototype at Bulford, and later the people who built Stonehenge, were early farmers. Their livelihoods, their food, their very survival were intimately tied to the seasons. Notice that both Bulford and Stonehenge feature a winter solstice alignment. For early farmers, winter was downright terrifying. It's a time of year when the light is literally dying. Days get shorter, colder. They likely felt an urgent, desperate need to build monuments to evoke the sun's return, to kind of guarantee that the light wouldn't just vanish forever.
And this, right here, reveals the profound human element of archaeology. Phil Harding actually calls this the best discovery of his entire long career. Why? Because it's not just a couple of holes in the dirt. These 2 post pits tell us about an entire community from 5,000 years ago. It tells us how these people were thinking, how they behaved, and how deeply they revered the heavens above them. It's not some shiny golden treasure you can hold in your hand, but it gives us a direct window into the minds of our ancestors. For an archaeologist, it just doesn't get better than that. So, as we wrap up our investigation today, I want to leave you with this final thought. We are still learning new things about Stonehenge and its surrounding landscape after thousands of years. It just proves that history isn't finished being written yet. If early farmers were sophisticated enough to precisely map the heavens with towering wooden posts half a millennium before Stonehenge was even a thought, and if the evidence for that was hiding right under an everyday housing estate, what other lost ancient knowledge might still be buried right beneath our feet today? Keep your eyes open, students. The next massive historical discovery could literally be in your very own backyard.